Hello and welcome to Generation Hero, the epic superhero saga that takes you through the entirety of comic book history, one issue at a time. This is the first episode of our 1990s arc, To the Extreme. Because, trust me, things are about to get radical.
Extreme.
Yeah, it's about to get very upstream. Upstream, very extreme. So, I'll do kind of a quick recap.
It's more than words.
But I will just say that after the 1980s, thanks to some heroism from the heroes played by these very individuals before me, the Age of Heroes returned, and we have 4 of those new heroes. The one returning hero with us right now. They are all in a special organization within the Society of Sentinels, which is the globe-spanning superhero alliance in our series. So the Society of Sentinels, but within that, there's a group called the Society of the Bizarre. They operate out of the basement. Yeah, because there's a lot of weird stuff out there. A lot of mysteries, a lot of unexplained. And the Society of the Bizarre is devoted to handling the stuff that is just too weird for the other heroes. So let's go around and meet some of the newest members of the Society of the Bizarre. The 4 heroes who make it up, played by some great returning players. Starting with Marvin. So let me know who your hero is, what their vibe is, and their powers, and how they came to be in the Society of the Bizarre.
Right. So I'm Marvin, and today I'm going to be playing Mr. Mystical, also known as Kenny Mystic. He's got the powers of, camouflage and stealth, and also phasing. And with the phasing, there's kind of a tie-in with that, because he doesn't appear totally human. While he has normal, human body and everything, his entire head is a plume of smoke.
Whoa.
So he phases by generally just turning into smoke and phasing through stuff.
Oh man,
He's a transfer from Spider. They wanted to extend an olive branch to the rest of the Society of Heroes. Basically saying, we're not the villains, we're just doing what you're not willing to do.
Whoa. I think this is our first gaseous or ethereal hero, so good to get that in there. After that, we have Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat. Tonight I'll be playing Devotion, who has a unique voice that I don't feel like doing it right at the moment, but we'll be doing it in character later on. Devotion is based upon the Vertigo comics of the early 90s, most specifically Sandman and Preacher. Devotion is one of the 7 Limitless, which are beings that rule over sort of reality. The entirety of the Limitless are delineation, digestion, demise, drowse, devotion, degradation, and of course, the youngest, Desmond. Devotion's powers are basically mind controlling and shadow teleportation. So,
Ooh, very handy and a very interesting, unique hero.
yes, and this voice is like this, and I didn't feel like doing it quite yet.
I'm sure we'll get there. After that, we have Dallas.
Hey, I'm Dallas. I'm playing character Flux, whose real name is Zomax Skamos, but he comes from a very distant place called Spustamark. It's just completely made up randomly, but it sounded like it was very distant, so it works. I was sent to Earth to find someone who could help our society defeat the Zonics. Right now we're sort of heroless there, so I'm here on Earth to help find someone to help out. So I'm still searching. While I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of as many Earth girls as I possibly can. I'm going to bring back a savior to my planet, and hopefully they'll have the potential to fulfill that quest.
Interesting. And then we have Nick playing a return character.
Yeah, I am Nick, as was stated, and I am bringing back the Emerald Drake, newly transformed from our last session. Not the end of the season. Still very draconic, but this time even more draconic, with a pair of wings and a very, very draconic head. and the ability to breathe fire, along with his impenetrable armor and inhuman might.
Oh, nice.
So,
Good to see our favorite dragon man coming back. So we'll start in the Society of the Bazaar's headquarters, which, like I said earlier, is located in the basement, far below the Society of Sentinels HQ in Sentinel City. And this is the basement is kind of a strange area, a trophy room / headquarters / lodging quarters for all of you, because I think a lot of you guys, like, you wouldn't have houses. I can't imagine Devotion just driving home to her apartment or whatever after work.
I dwell in a shadowy realm between the emotions of humans.
well,
Yeah. So, for the most part,
Well, that's fucking weird.
I am everywhere.
Not that
and
there's
nowhere.
anything wrong with that. I mean, we're all weird.
If you believe that there's something wrong with it, you should believe it with all your heart.
That there's something weird.
Yes. Devote yourself to it.
To weirdness.
I do love criticism.
So amongst all these strange artifacts, and you guys are all called in to a special meeting, a briefing by the entity that leads the Society of the Bazaar. It is called the Seraph. And this creature, this being, is plugged in to the occult happenings of the world. And he, she, it, you're not quite sure, because what it really is a green glowing orb that is suspended over this black pillar. And this orb, the Seraph, tells you where to go when strange things are going on. And it gives you some clues as to how to unravel these mysteries. So you all get together, and the Seraph, which is kind of floating there, this green orb pulsating above the pillar, swirls around to face you and says, hello there.
what's up?
Well, I think I've got another mission for you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, where are we going?
I like your enthusiasm.
Well, yeah. This is
Enthu-
gonna be great.
enthusiasm, and you kind of like trails off a little bit, as if remembering something from long ago. Then the Seraph says, "Tell me, do any of you like clubs?"
Well, I haven't used one in quite some time. But
No, like the music variety.
Yes, I very much enjoy a club.
Cool.
It's a bit too noisy for my taste. But
Oh, well,
everybody else
what
likes
about like goth clubs where things are kind of dark and
Oh,
a
Ah,
little
the
creepy?
The mixture of music and religion, and lack of religion. How do you find it delicious?
that does sound quite.
Well, you are not the only one. There's this new club in Hitchville called Velvet Midnight
it. Velvet Midnight.
that is doing a booming business. I don't really know if I like that kind of music. Lots of weird chants and thrumming. I prefer the soothing sounds of the Carpenters. But something strange is going on at Velvet Midnight. I sense malign energies. I want you to investigate. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but something there is wrong and must be stopped.
So we're solving a mystery. Okay.
I should think so. She says it may have something to do with another vigilante, another hero who has been fatally attacking criminals in the area. A mysterious black-clad bird-controlling man.
One with great power.
Perhaps, certainly great strength. He is known as the Magpie King.
The Magpie King?
So look out for him when you're investigating this club.
Any relation to Pigeon Prince?
She just radiates and thinks about that for a little. But it could be possible.
He was an interesting fellow.
Oh yes, yeah. You're the only one who actually kind of
Yeah.
knows
Yeah,
some of the original heroes, because Emerald Drake was the recruiter
I was.
for the Society of Sentinels. I don't know, like what exactly how you got reassigned the Society of the Bazaar. What do you think happened there?
Well, I think with the Society of the Bazaar, they figured they would need a sort of a veteran to sort of help them out, and they were like, "Well, you sort of fit the bill, so
Wow.
all right."
So your guys kind of screwed you over too, huh?
That's all right. At least they're back. I was around when there wasn't heroes around, so
Mm.
There were always heroes around. They were just underground.
very true.
Yeah, like us. I mean, we were in the shadows and we didn't really want to go up in the open because of government and everything, but we were still heroes.
That is very true.
So, you guys head to Hitchville. It was once kind of a rural town next to Sentinel City, but the city has kind of grown around it, and now it's sort of a small town next to a big town. Velvet Midnight, I'm thinking you get there kind of around the early evening, right before the club really starts doing business, because, you know, it's after dark is when the magic happens. And as you are all walking down the street, you see something sort of odd. There is a film crew that is set up and kind of filming the intersection across from Velvet Midnight, which is built in like an old slaughterhouse. Yeah, by the way. So this film crews and you have the camera set up, kind of a boom mic sound, all the bulky cameras of the past, and an individual who appears to be the host TV personality behind this newest cast. He is a young man sporting a very 90s blazer and t-shirt combo, sort of similar to what Dallas is wearing, and he has frosted tips as
Frosted
Oh, he
tips.
must.
yes. So he heads over. He's getting microphone ready,
I'm going to fix
and
this.
he's like, "Whoa, what's up? I see we got some heroes here. What's going on? What's happening, my dudes?"
Can we help you?
Yeah. In fact, you can help me in a very big way. My name is AJ McCall, and my family's been involved with heroes for a long time. So I'm thinking it's time to take these, how the public sees superheroes to the next level. Tell me, have you guys ever heard of something called reality television?
Reality television?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Watch the reality on TV. Boring. I'm here to tell you that the exact opposite is true. See, I'm hosting this new TV show. I mean, I'm still kind of shopping around at the networks, and we're collecting footage right now. It's called Real Heroes. It's about what happens when superheroes stop being polite and start being real.
We've always been real.
Exactly. And I'm going to capture that realness on camera.
What? Would we have a film crew following us everywhere?
That's the
Something,
idea.
yeah, something like that, and not just you, like all sorts of heroes. Because there's all kinds of heroes that the camera would just love to catch a whiff of, if you get my meaning.
I think you might want to talk to some of my superiors.
I don't think so, man. This is like guerrilla filming.
I would be most interested in participating in your project.
Awesome. I made a few calls myself to get a few other heroes here. I didn't really expect you guys to show up. But I'm talking icing, cake. That's what you are. So,
Do you quite enjoy icing?
oh, you know it. He's like motioning to his film crew to get the camera rolling. And he's putting his microphone up in your air. So, sister, what's your name?
My name is Devotion.
So, just tell us a little about yourself. Like, why are you a hero?
Well, I've become interested in heroes as of late, as that they seem to be becoming a bit of a new religion. Suppression of herodom, you see, caused people to become quite avid followers of heroism. In the same way that, say, a young Nazarene was not of any particular interest to somebody until we started throwing his followers to the lions.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
Look, this is all getting a little bit intellectual, and I'm 100% behind it, but I'm thinking we need to introduce a little bit of drama. And in fact, here comes some of that drama right now. Some other heroes I placed a call to
Drama?
have shown up.
What?
And down the street, as you say, what? Next panel shows a premier team of superheroes who are kind of tangentially connected to the SOS, but only tangentially because they're known for extreme solutions to supervillainy. Extremely violent, that is. They are led by Extinction. He's a bulky, hulking individual with like tons of bandoliers, lots and lots of various ammo belts, and
I get the feeling I've seen his file before.
yeah, you know he's loaded down with pouches too.
Oh, yeah.
And he has like a humongous gun, and like half his face is a cyborg face.
Very self-conscious about his feet.
Oh yeah, for some reason the feet just never get shown. Huge battle axe on his muscular back too. He takes up like half the page. So he comes over and he's like, "Well, isn't some of those SOBs in Society of the Bizarre?"
I like your pouches.
Thanks, I use
They're
them.
very compensational.
Yeah, I keep a lot of important equipment in there. Ammo. Because when Execution's in town, ammo's always in short supply.
Execution. I thought you were
I thought you were
Extinction.
I mean Extinction, sorry. I'm getting my name mixed up with the name of my team. The Extreme Executioners.
Oh.
He snaps his fingers, and the Extreme Executioners, his super team, come down, all giving special, like, one-page announcements of who they are.
Of course.
There are Slizzard, who you as players know, he was once the Shogun Komodo, who you fought in our last episode, but he's since gone over to the side of the heroes, I guess. And he's a big, like, ninja, giant Komodo dragon man. And there's also Skate Lord.
Skateboard.
Yeah, who is a...
Is that SK8?
Yes, Skateelord. Or maybe it would be spelled Loard. Because spelling is never the strong suit of these kinds of heroes.
I
mean, hence the Extreme
SK,
Executioners.
the number 8 in them Lord.
Oh yes, that's how it would be. Lord is spelled wrong too. Lots of misspellings. He's wearing like, riot gear and like helmets and his like 2 skateboards strapped to his back, and he's riding a skateboard. And then finally there's Rude Britannia, who is a kind of British robot woman who's wearing a Union Jack miniskirt and his like shining metal skin. Very rude, as you can imagine, but very cool. So they all show up and like stand together. Extinction says, "Why don't you SOBs just turn around and head back the way you came? The Magpie King belongs to the Extreme
And
Executioners."
who gave you that order?
I don't take orders. I take heads.
You should take orders.
No.
According to your superiors, you should be taking orders.
I'm sorry, you don't take orders, but you give head.
No. He's frowning. He's scowling harder and harder at his badass one-liner being turned around on him.
Because my sibling here, and she points to the person behind her that you just appears out of the shadow wearing like a full-on gimp suit.
Whoa.
My sibling here would be willing to take you up on the offer. If you're giving.
And this is degradation.
This is, yes, for twin degradation.
Yeah. He just goes like.
How's it going, degradation?
Oh.
Don't talk unless I tell you to talk, darling.
All right.
Execution goes, "Hey man, I don't swing that way. The only thing that swings about me is my battle axe when it's chopping off heads."
Oh, yes.
She motions to have degradation sit down like a chair, and then she sits on degradation. This is very interesting. So I'm guessing micro penis of some variety.
Rude Britannia goes like, "Darling, you have no idea."
Oh, so you agree. You've seen it.
Didn't say that. So while you are chatting on the other end of the
His
street.
clothing are very tight.
Oh, I just noticed. Dang, that is tiny.
Oh dang! On the other end of this street, which is occupied, by the way, comes with the civilians. I mean, it's a pretty busy intersection. Comes the Magpie King, a lean, thin, very very pale individual with like magpie feather, shiny feather hair. And as he is walking along, he snaps his fingers, and all of these feathers, or all these magpies, birds, ravens, of all sorts, though of course they're all dark, fluttering up in a Alfred Hitchcock birds style to surround him and help him.
Hello, Eric.
He just like stares at you, says nothing.
Doesn't like going by his old name anymore.
So when this is, as soon as he shows up, Extinction says, "There he is, the bird-brained bozo who's been causing trouble all over town." And he racks his humongous gun. There's a huge kashik. I don't know what the onomatopoeia would be,
That's a good one.
but it takes up like a large portion of the panel.
It's too bad you're going to drop that.
And
I'm
then
using
he's
my mind clouding powers on him.
okay. Yeah, they're starting to attack. But yeah, I guess you're going first. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with this roll?
I'm going to try to make him do what I say.
Okay.
Basically, I'm giving him, like, I'm clouding his mind with my shadow powers, and because of my legacy move, I get to use my savior. So that is an 8.
Okay, and this is for unleash your powers.
Symbol of authority.
Ooh, cool. Okay, so that's with an 8.
Yes.
You're picking like one option, I think,
Let's see.
from the menu of possibilities.
I get to choose one.
Yeah.
On a 10 plus, I get to do one forward. So I'm basically having them do what I say.
Okay. So,
Or actually, you know what? I'll have them freeze.
ooh, all right. So just he's about to take his humongous gun and open fire on the Magpie King. He freezes, and his scowl is like so intense at this moment. But he is not able to pull the trigger of his humongo assault rifle.
You can probably see the phlegm between his teeth.
Oh yeah. Lots of veins on his overly muscled body.
Now, darling, since that's frozen up, I must be dreadfully embarrassing for you. You should probably put the gun in your mouth.
Whoa, are you rolling again?
Yep.
All right. Well, so if you do that, and then we'll see. And then
That's
I'll see what
a
the rest
10.
of. Whoa. Okay. So you get to. So he's going to do that, and
Yeah.
you get to take.
And I take +1 forward against it.
Okay. You do take +1 against Extinction, as he swivels his gun around, puts it in his mouth.
Devotion, don't go any further. Please.
I mean, they still are technically heroes. The minute they turn villain, yeah, go ahead, do it. But they're not villains yet.
Is your camera catching this?
AJ is like, "Oh yeah, this is gold.
Well done.
Nothing sells. Nothing gets viewers like suicides."
I'm doing my best to avoid the camera.
Okay. So while you were doing this, a few things happened with the other members of the Extreme Executioners. I'm gonna say Slizzard is like heading over towards you, getting his big katanas ready, being like, "You need to stop that. We need him. Make him take his gun out of his mouth."
Don't threaten me. I can make you do the same thing that I made him do.
Maybe you could try, but I think we got other problems. And as he's saying this, the Magpie King goes, "Whoosh," and this huge flock of birds is zooming down the street. Now there is a long line of very gothically adorned customers outside of Velvet Midnight, and they are in the way of this big swarm of birds.
Oh dear.
So they are panicking, and it is very hard to run on with oversized like boots and humongous spiky stiletto heels that they would all
I
be
would
wearing.
like to fly over and get between the birds and the
Okay.
sort of.
So
doing
why not?
savior.
This sounds like defend.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
All right, Emerald Drake defending the innocent.
That's plus savior. That is a 10.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you zoom in. How do you stop this flock of
So
winged?
it sounds like the birds are just sort of going in a straight line. So basically, you see me sort of in a flash, just sort of what looks like a very stylized leap, just fly over everyone, land, and just my wings just go out as fat in its full wingspan, and just.
Ooh, and the
So-
birds cannot pierce through your
Yep.
scaly hide.
Yep.
Very cool. while this is going on, Dallas, Skate Lord skates right over to you, and he's like, yo, freak, your friend's making my friend put his gun in my mouth. I'm gonna kickflip you into oblivion.
Oh.
And he leaps up to ram you with a skateboard, which, by the way, like big spikes come out of it. It's
Temper
like a
tantrum.
Yeah, it's a cool combat skateboard kind of thing. Of course.
All right.
So he's trying to hit you with that.
Am I trying to dodge?
Yeah, this is a direct. This is a take a powerful blow.
So powerful blow is that's a 7.
Ooh. Okay. So you're choosing one of the bombs. You can mark 2 conditions. Give a ground, get an opportunity, which I will say he will knock you down and then be able to send a skateboard either at her or actually at these two. He's got explosive skateboards.
Can you do Savior before or after Powerful?
I don't know. It's got to be before.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'll give the ground.
delete that.
Ooh. Okay. So
Okay.
he knocks you down. You are kickflipped into oblivion as you crash onto the sidewalk.
Ouch.
Then he spins around, pulls out another skateboard. This one with a big like time bomb looking thing on it, and chucks it at
I
you two.
will defend.
Ooh. All right. Let's see you defend.
I am using a shadow portal to defend.
Okay. So let's see you defend Mystical and yourself.
Let's see. That is a 7.
Okay, so you can either take the blow yourself, the skateboard will blow up and hurt you, but it won't hurt Mystical. Mr. Mystical, I should say.
Nah.
Gotta keep the Mister. Or they will get an opportunity. And the opportunity is that I'm gonna say it serves to distract you enough that you release your hold on Extinction. He's gonna be able to get control of his faculties.
Yeah, we'll say I released my hold on extinction. So basically, I cause a black portal to open up in front of us that the skateboard just goes into. But I totally lose my focus on making him keep a gun in his mouth.
All right, the skateboard just vanishes. Skate Lord is like, oh man. But then Extinction takes the gun out of his mouth, and he's like, all right, that does it. You and Bird Boy are all going down. He swings his gun, not just facing you, but also about to hit the camera crew and AJ as well. So Marvin, what are you doing? Or Mr. Mystical, I should say.
This is why you don't hire extremists.
The Extremecutioners, but they got so much attitude. Excuse
I
me,
think you meant-
ratitude. Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna pull off a ridiculous stunt. I'm gonna charge straight at him, and using my phasing powers, gonna pass through him while pulling the gun with me.
Whoa. Okay, this would be a direct engage. You can immediately take. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
So I'm also gonna use Suck It, Dunishin. When you stand strong while dramatically under fire, roll plus Savior instead of Danger to directly engage a threat.
Nice. This is definitely you're definitely standing strong in heavy fire.
So that's a 10.
Nice.
Whoa. All right. So, which two are you picking?
Well, obviously I'm gonna take his gun,
Oh, sure. That humongo assault rifle is yours.
and I'm also going to frighten the opposition.
Whoa. So you zoom through his gun, and he's like, "Whoa, that was my favorite gun,"
Nice move.
which is now in your hands. The other Extremecutioners are like spinning around facing you, kind of unsure. A moment's pause of what they're going to do next.
I picked up new gear. That's
Meanwhile,
That's true.
yes, now you have a humongous assault rifle.
and I also fulfill the drive.
Nice.
Whoa, cool. And meanwhile, the Magpie King and his bird army is still heading down the street.
Alright.
Flux, what are you doing?
Go for it.
I was gonna get up and change the density of the air around the birds so they can't fly.
Ooh, alright. Sounds like an unleash your powers.
So yeah, I'd like to thicken the atmosphere by increasing the humidity to the degree where the birds are like,
Sure, let's mess up some birds.
ouch.
Uh-oh. Did not work?
That's potential. That's
Ooh,
reach
alright.
powers, so that's a 5.
What do you think messes you up?
I'm still reeling from that asshole skate that hit me in the back of the head. Yeah.
The birds are able to fly over, and I'm going to say a bunch of these birds are going to hit you, Emerald Drake, unless one of your friends can help you.
Well, they've already sort of
Yeah, he tried to. Yeah, I'm gonna say the birds reach you.
Yeah.
They're just trying to like distract you, fly around, peck at you, and keep you busy.
Alright.
So let's have you do a powerful blow to see how you do with this avian attack.
Yeah, that's an 8.
Okay, so picking one from the lower list.
Could always be worse.
Yeah.
It definitely could. So you could insult ask a teammate, do something foolish, gain ground to let them get an opportunity. Which I'm going to say, the opportunities of the Magpie King is going to reach you and start like smashing you around, thrashing you, as well as the Extreme Executioners, where you can take the 2 conditions.
I don't know who this would provoke. I think it would just be more of like, just a general like lashing out of just we have bigger things to worry about. Let's just get rid of this mother.
Ooh, all right. So the other heroes hear that. What will you do?
I'll try. Well, if I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to mind blast the
Magpie King?
See if he loses his control.
Yeah, I want you to directly engage.
No.
Not so good.
Plus danger, so that's 6.
Okay, mark potential. He reaches you. He's going to go for devotion.
I'm so sorry.
Who's going for
Oh,
me
dude.
now?
This is the Magpie King. He takes out his hand, just very like talon-like, and is going to try and slash you. So unless
Okay, I'll defend myself.
okay, so,
Can you do that? Can you defend yourself? In
You
this
cannot. You can only defend others.
game? Okay.
Do you need help? I'll take that as a yes. I'll use Execution's gun and to help defend
There
Devotion.
you go.
Okay.
No powers and not nearly enough training, so I'm using Mundane for this.
Nice.
That is a 11.
Whoa.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, you need to add 1 team point to the pool, bringing it up to 3 for the climax, which is not. This is not the climax. And how do you stop the Magpie King from this attack? With this humongous gun.
That I have no idea how to use. I'm going to press all the buttons on it and then chuck it.
So
Like,
you're gonna.
hey, Executioner, you see this gun? See this gun? Chuck it.
Yeah, that is one heavy gun. It slams into the Magpie King, knocks him down, and he rolls over into the street. So, Extinction is now getting a bit tired of this.
Extinction, that's
Yes.
his name.
His name was Extinction, his team was the Extreme Executioners. Everything's X and extremed out, okay?
Would that be another drive, help a teammate when they most need me?
Sure.
I mean, well, I don't know if she most needed you. It was just a
Well,
scratch
But
with
still.
hefty claws, but yeah, I would say so.
Alright.
I'd let you mark that one. Okay, so Extinction is now a little bit tired of this, and he's like, Extreme Executioners, rally to me! And they all zoom back, and he's like, Rude Britannia, initiate Operation Big Bomb. And she's like, well, whatever you say, darling. And she takes, let me just finish this. She takes a very large bomb out of her belly and like primes it and gets ready to throw it into the street to blast not only the Magpie King but like everybody else into the Kingdom Come.
Aren't you guys supposed to be heroes?
He's
I
like,
can't-
this is heroism.
Under what definition?
I'm basically going to do the same thing to the bomb that I did to the skateboard. She's throwing it.
Throw it in a portal. All right, let's
Yeah.
do it.
So I'm defending some people.
Okay.
That is an 8.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna say either you're gonna take a powerful blow, maybe like the bomb goes off in this portal and some of it gets through to you and hurts you,
That's fine.
or okay, all right. So let's say you take the powerful blow as
Okay.
the bomb goes off as it goes to this portal and some of the blast rolls over you.
Yeah, I can feel things that explode inside the portals. Oh, well, that wasn't good.
Uh-oh.
That's a 9.
Yeesh.
Could be worse.
Oh.
So
Could
when you
be
take
worse.
the 2, 2 conditions. Give ground, give them an opportunity, which I'm going to say Extinction's going to draw another weapon and continue the attack.
Let's see.
Or ask a teammate to do something foolhardy.
I think I would provoke a teammate to do something foolhardy because that's just my nature.
Makes sense.
All right.
What teammate would you ask, and what foolhardy thing would you ask them to do?
Can you phase your hand inside of that robot and just, I don't know, do something to her brains?
I bet I could. Just scramble her.
Just mess her up a bit. Be a doll and do that for me, will you? I don't want to get up from my comfy chair and slap degradation on his ass.
Isn't that your brother?
He seems to enjoy it.
A sigh. All right.
Well, I must do something foolhardy.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Alright, so I'm going to scramble her brains.
All right, let's roll directly engage, I think.
Alright.
Unless you have another idea.
How to do this? How to do this?
I bet you felt that when it blew up in the portal, didn't you, brother? I bet you liked that.
Well, I'm not
Like
under fire
that.
this time, am I?
Slut.
You are not.
Okay, so this is going to go horribly. Here we go.
Oh,
Wow.
It's not.
So 12 for unleash powers.
Dang. All right, so whatever you want to do, just scramble her brains.
Just make her stop hostilities, maybe.
All right, you exactly do that. You
This-
phase in,
A little pinch.
mess up some wires, and her eyes just start glazing over, and she falls back and collapses.
Oh boy.
Extinction says, "Britannia, no!"
Well-
He picks her up in his arms and falls to his knees and says, "No!" It's very dramatic.
It suddenly starts raining too.
Oh yeah. And he says, "We gotta take her back and work on her. I thought we were a bunch of ruthless fighters, but you guys take that
Oh, she's
to the
making
extreme."
signs. She's like, no.
So guess who doesn't belong here? You.
So the executioners head away. Skate Lord hastily skateboarding to safety.
Oh, that must have been very embarrassing for him. Was it degradation?
And they run away. Also, the Magpie King has fled. When you look back, the birds manage to lift up, flutter away, and he is gone as well. So AJ and his and Real Heroes captured everything, and he comes out and he's like, "Cut! That is a wrap." He rushes out and it's his applaud. He's like, "Oh man, that was a killer half hour or so of TV. I'm telling you, this is all gold."
Will this only be airing in this country or in others as well?
I'm thinking worldwide,
Yes, very good.
because this is some top notch stuff.
This is going to look bad for us.
Look bad, more like look awesome.
We don't want this type of reputation,
Well,
especially not for the Society of Sentinels.
Or Spider. Oh man, the boss is going to be so mad.
I'm just gonna walk up to the camera and grab it and break it.
ooh. Okay, why don't you give me? Or actually, no, I'm not gonna make you roll for this because it's just like a camera, and you're a humongous dragon man.
Yep.
So you just just break it over your knee, or just how do you destroy it exactly?
I basically just grab it and just snap it in half.
AJ's like, "What? No! What about this? Is unbelievable. What about the power of the press and all that? I got a right to free speech, dude."
You should take a swing at him, don't you think?
Maybe.
I mean,
he's a
he's
huge dragon. I
wrecked
don't
your
want to do
life's
that.
work. Nothing means more to you than your life's work.
What are you rolling for this?
Support authority.
Ooh, okay. And how high did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
Dang.
Oh,
All right.
sorry,
So
no, a 12.
whoa. Okay. So you get +1 forward going against AJ,
Nice.
and you want him to fight him?
Oh, yes.
All right. Yeah, he does it. Just even against his will, he just goes like, "Dah!" I'm not gonna make you take a powerful blow because
No.
AJ is not not a buff dude.
That was so weak, AJ. That's so embarrassing. Like when you wet your bed at the sleepover.
Don't bring that up. Emerald Drake, what are you doing as he feebly wails on you? Or not, he feebly tries to punch you.
Devotion, this is not necessary.
Of course it's necessary. I'm very hungry.
AJ, just leave.
Whatever you say. And he and his crew like pack up and hustle away. So they have departed. AJ very much sad that great footage he shot of the street fight is gone. But now, as far as you can see, Velvet Midnight has like closed up. You know, having a huge superhero fight on the street outside will do that. Like when you try it knocking on the door, you can still hear like music and stuff going on inside. So they must have let some people in, but it's sort of like, you know, they know you guys are heroes, and they will not let you in.
Not surprising.
Is that large gun still around, or any other weapons?
I mean, yeah, the large guns is lying on the floor after
Can
Mr.
I-
Mystic checked it.
Can I grab it and work on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Yes, do that. I just kind of walk back into the alley, into the shadows, and then reappear in the shadows in the club.
Ooh, okay. Let's have Dallas or Flux do the. What are you working on for the gun?
I'm not.
Oh
I
no!
rolled snake eyes.
No.
Ooh, well, mark potential.
Mark potential.
Oh, we
I
have an
was
unlucky
trying
alien.
So hard to give
Were
you.
you doing the alien tech move?
Yeah.
It still works. It's just
Oh.
that something very bad is going to happen later.
It's
Cool.
on a Mr. Device works. Oh, okay. All right. This red switch here is the auto fire. This blue switch here is the grenade launcher. I'm very, very certain.
So you give him this new fancy gun?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Anything else the three of you would like to try and do to either get in, or maybe to like try and comfort and support or help out each other before you head into before you go to Cat in Velvet Midnight?
Does anyone have a condition?
Nope.
Nope.
I do now.
I got hit hard instead of taking conditions.
Alright, so I'm going to try and, find my way into the club. Straight up creeping.
Ooh, nice.
That's an 8.
Okay, so what's the result for that one as you try and sneak in?
So yeah, I'm scoping out a place with mundane. Ask 2. Okay. So, what's my best way in?
Okay, I'm gonna say they do know that you are a hero, and because they saw you in this fracas out front. But if you costume yourself up in a goth attire, they will probably let you in.
Oh, sweet.
You look like, not like you. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Not like a hero.
It's gonna be hard with the smoke head, but hey.
You gotta make it work.
And also, who or what here is not what they seem?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna say the owner of this club is not what he seems. Who you guys have not met yet, but he, or actually, Cat or sister. Why do I keep calling you Sister Midnight? Your other amazingly
Devotion.
attired hero. Yes, Devotion. Who Devotion is about to meet is not who he seems.
Okay.
Do I see him like on the floor or something?
Yeah, you can peer in through some of the windows, and you see a tall, lean, very gothically attired, like big black long coat individual with like snow white hair and a face that has been totally covered up with white pasty paint. Is
Well, that guy looks ominous.
it? He does look very ominous.
Alright, so I'm jumping back down and telling the rest of the guys, hey, what's going on? Alright, we got one guy, big dude, dressing like, I don't know, what, goth attire with white face paint and everything?
Not surprising.
Yeah, I don't like the look of that guy.
Well,
So watch out for him when we get in the club.
I'm pretty sure I'm not getting in there.
Well, you just gotta dress up as a goth. Sure, we can make something work.
Pretty sure the draconic face is going to give me away.
Yeah, just make it a demon, bro.
Well, you might be able to help their minds see differently.
Ooh, okay.
And that's right, Flux. You got some weird alien stuff.
All right, let's have Flux. So you're gonna try and roll to cloud the minds
Use
of
a
the
little,
guy at the
yeah,
door.
telepathy to make them just see us as teenagers entering the club.
Ooh, all right.
Please.
So you do this roll. We'll see how that goes.
And am I unleashing powers or am I doing?
This is unleash your powers. I'm gonna say.
All right, so that's a 9.
All right. So I'm gonna say. You got
Make
a
a
mark
condition.
condition?
Yeah, I got
Make
to
it.
make a
Oh,
condition.
okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, it might the illusion might their minds become unclouded.
No, I'll take it because we need in, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the bouncer was this big, very pale, bald, muscular individual in like a undershirt.
All right. So we
Sword
got like
necklaces.
masks on and big baggy pants, like
Mhm.
parachute pants. We're,
Yeah.
we're feeling that we're going in.
So it's all golf color too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Got
the
it.
important thing.
Goths and parachute.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're black parachute
Yeah.
pants, of course.
So, I think when he's sort of not doing the hero thing, Drake has figured out a way to sort of make his wings less conspicuous, a la gargoyles. If anyone knows that.
like the Disney show, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tied on the
Whoa.
cape.
Yeah,
they wear it as their.
it's sort of they wore their wings as essentially a cloak. So,
Cool.
Nice.
So that's sort of your kind of look for blending in with the crowd.
yeah, pretty much.
Well, it
It helps with possibly putting on
it
like,
works.
coats and stuff. Yeah.
So inside there's like
Hi.
yeah, this cool thrumming music as you can sort of similar to what's playing right now, thanks to Scooter, is booming out. A crowd of pale, gothically adorned teenagers and young adults are dancing it out on the dance floor there, and there's kind of like everything's very industrial, very minimal, but it's certainly packing them in and works for the aesthetic that Velvet Midnight is going for. And there is like a second floor with some other layers as well. So as you all are making your way through, let's go to Devotion because
I've been here for a little while.
because that pale, lean individual walks right over to you and is like, "Greetings, I sense another sister in darkness."
Yes. Do I know you?
"Indeed you might. I have gone by other names in the past. Once they called me Glampire, but that
Oh Lord.
did not go very well at all. Now, I have a new name, along with this new decade. I am called Gothpire. And by the way, it's spelled Pyre.
Of course.
Yes.
Some kind of that.
Extra gothic.
Very interesting.
Seen it involved.
I think that my sibling has been quite familiar with you for quite some time.
Oh.
Yes, this is my brother, Degradation.
Oh, so is he like just teleported in with you, or does
Yeah,
he
he just
appear?
came through with me.
All right. Yeah, he just like. He's like, or Gothpire says, "I have embraced many, but this is one child I have not taken into the darkness yet, as far as I know."
No, don't suppose so. Do you take people into darkness?
Yes. And I believe we are kindred spirits in the Knight's Obsidian Embrace.
Night does not embrace me. I am the night. I am the whisper in the library. I am the priest when they do the things that priests aren't supposed to do. I am the scholar, confounded by his life's work and disproven by a younger one. I am the body lying in the field of war and also the killer.
Ooh.
I am all darkness.
Uh,
You are a visitor.
Gothpire's a little taken aback by all this. He says, "You're not with the hegemony, are you?"
Not with anyone other than the limitless. And we are yet unknown to your kind.
Perhaps so. Well, if you would like, meet me here with any you brought with you, and I should show you something interesting I keep in my chambers up above.
I'd very much like to see your chambers up above.
I'm sure decoration would do.
Until then,
I'll find the others for you and bring them.
and he slips away into the shadows. Meanwhile, ooh, not a fan of Gothpire. Well, he's kind of full of himself. As much as he's had some success with his club. So meanwhile, as you guys are making your way through Velvet Midnight, Emerald Drake, you spot someone familiar to you and looking a little bit out of place. It is Pigeon Prince, who is looking, just kind of walking around. Still, he's definitely getting on in years. Has like very gray hair, and he's like a cane with a pigeon's head on it now. But he's still the same old Pigeon Prince, looking around. And when he spots you, he heads over, and he says, "Oh, I'm trying to get what was my Pigeon Prince accent? I mean, it's all old and weathered now.
Yeah.
Well, if this is another winged friend,
You could say that.
what are you doing here, Drake?"
You wouldn't happen to know anything about a certain Magpie King?
He like looks around and he's like, "It's the very fellow I've come to find. It's really a tragic story. Do you have a moment?
Of
A
course.
story that would make even a pigeon weep." You see, Pigeon Prince wasn't, let's just say I have loved more than the birds. And I recently discovered that I have a son. Yes, or had, because he was apparently attacked and killed and his room raided by some sort of horrible robbery. But then when I sought to claim the body, it vanished. I think this Magpie King, he controls the magpies and ravens, just like I am the Prince of Pigeons. So perhaps there is some kinship. Perhaps it's this long lost son. And he has something to do with this club. I believe he serves the vampiric owner of this place.
Who's his mother then?
He's like, "Oh, well, it's a long story. It begins in the summer of 1969.
Okay, you can stop right
I was a...
That was a loose child.
Yeah. Hey, Pigeon Prince got around back in the day, okay?
I mean, he is a prince.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got lots of little hatchlings all over, lots of baby birds.
Well. Yeah, he seems to be associated somehow with this club. He was outside. He seemed to have fled.
Indeed. I seem like I just missed him. Well, if you get a chance, I don't know what has happened to him, but I would like my son to know me, no matter what feathers he is currently sporting.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Have I caught up with them yet?
I will say you do so, but as you do so, actually, Flux, you spot someone, and you guys, or you know him for sure, because you were in the same team as him. It is our old friend Vizandu, who is hanging out in this
I don't know,
club.
but he's there. I see him, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of him, or how do I spot him?
Hasn't he been in several films now?
Oh, that's right. Okay,
He's
sorry.
world famous all around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody,
sorry.
I think all you probably know Vizandu, because he's the defender of Earth too.
Yep.
And he's kind of like just leaving the VIP section, and signing a few autographs.
Of course.
But he kind of spots you and like nods, and you can tell something is bothering old Vizandu. And he seems particularly worried, interested in your situation, Flux. You being another alien and all.
Vizandu, is that you?
Yes, it is I, the great Vizandu. And he comes over and is like, fan, shows off his fan, and some of the crowd goes like, "Whoa, yeah!" Yes, the famed fan of Vizandu.
So amazing that you're here. It's almost coincidental.
What's your weird red-robed friend saying?
She's just saying you deserve applause, Vizandu.
Well, I certainly like that.
She appreciates your devotion of your fans, I believe.
Ooh, nice. Well, I do appreciate their devotion to me. And my devotion to
Quite
this planet.
adoring. It's delicious, their adoration of you.
Yeah, it's really cool. I sure hope I don't let them down when the invasion happens. Oh, sorry. Did I say that? Look, we need to talk.
Right.
Anything we can help with, Vizandu?
No, old Vizandu, defender of Earth, the great Vizandu, is it all 100% under control.
And at this moment, I tap into his mind, if I can, with him, and make that connection to see what's going on there.
Okay.
He clearly wants to say something.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna make you roll for it because you can that's your. He does want to talk and you want to communicate with him, so it works out. He's thinking, look, you're an alien. Maybe you got some pull out there in space. I'm hearing that some of my sources are saying that the Akalindu invasion, it's coming.
You're joking.
Yeah, they're like already on this way. They're gonna take over the whole planet.
I've never seen you sweat before. Not even
I didn't
film.
even know I could.
Is this all being communicated telepathically?
Yeah, you want to try and like listen to them, listen in.
Maybe.
Okay, I would make you roll for it because he's trying to keep him
Yeah, I
on
don't know
the.
if that's just like a freak kind of
Yeah, just do unleash your powers, I think, and see if you can hear.
Nope.
Ooh, okay, so it's just between you two.
Vizandu.
Yes.
As old,
That's me, the Great Mizandu.
As old friends, I do hope that you can sort of confide in me and my friends.
We are on the same side.
Well, it's a fair point. Why don't you roll provoke?
Provoke.
Yeah, see if you can get him to talk about this.
I got a superior of 0.
Yeah, you've got superior. I don't.
Oh.
You don't?
No, I'm on a -1.
So it's 0 or -1.
Could I pierce the mask?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
That would work much better.
That would probably
Yeah.
work better.
Also, Flux, you can take +1 to Vizandu because he likes your sympathetic ear.
So I'll pierce the mask. 7.
Oh, and I should say before I forget,
Yep.
Devotion, you should take +1 to Gothpire
Oh, okay.
or Glampire. So how'd you do with the roll to pierce the mask on Vizandu?
9. So I
Okay.
only get to ask 1.
Yes.
So this might be a good question. Okay. What do you want me to do? Or, like, what do you want us to do?
I mean, right now he just kind of wants you to like leave him alone and not focus on him too much, so we can just kind of go back to being the defender of Earth and trying to find some way to solve this problem without either his planet or the Akalindu Empire, or the Akalindu invasion fleet being destroyed.
Well,
So he kind of wants you to like leave him alone.
that's obviously not going to happen.
Oh, Vizandu.
Well,
The owner of the club would like to meet with us. If you all are interested in that.
well, it's probably a good thing to talk to him. He seems to be associated with our mission, so. Well, Vizandu, it was wonderful seeing you again.
Likewise.
I will leave you to your fans, and well, if you ever want to talk again, you know where I am.
I certainly do, and you will find me in the stars.
Of course.
Do you even still have the ship?
I lost it.
Okay, so this is
Shall we
when
go?
I also tell him that my Kirby craft is not functioning at the moment. I'm stuck here.
Oh, well, maybe you can't help that much after all.
Nope. Yeah, that's why I'm still I gotta find some help, so I can't take that move yet.
He says, "All right, we'll work on it."
When though, if you can tell us, how long do we have to prepare?
That's something else I'm a little unclear on. I'll have more information soon enough. Me and Princess Worm are gonna talk it over a little bit. She's more plugged into the Akalindu than I am. We'll see what we can do. Just know that the invasion fleet is hanging all over our heads like the proverbial sword of Damocles.
That's all
Thanks.
being communicated. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for
that's
the
still-
advice.
No problem. Oh, and
Great
here's
to
an
meet you.
autograph. He writes you like "keep on rockin'," spelled with an apostrophe, dash
Yeah,
the Zondu.
it's right in the heart.
Probably a photo of him just doing this with a big shit.
Yeah, a little headshot. Vizandu.
Yeah. Well, alright, shall we go?
Yes.
So you guys head up. There are two more of these bald, muscular, very pale bouncer types who like kind of greet you at the door. But when they see you, Devotion, they like nod and let you up. So you head up the stairs and you reach the private chambers of Gothpire, which are of course very gothed out. Lots of red velvet, lots of black velvet.
There'd probably be a little bit red.
Yeah, a little bit of red piping.
Yeah.
Big like damask curtains everywhere, and in the center is a statue of a dragon. This is a very old, medieval. You can see the stonework. From the stonework and the rectangularness of the dragon's snout and facial features, you can tell this is like a medieval artifact. It's about
European?
Yeah, definitely like European, about half as big as a man, I would say. And Gothpire is here looking it over. And he's like,
It's a nice piece you have.
yes. It is called the Draconics. It hails from a little town in Nizova. Little town Nizova in Poland. Once a battlefield during the Second World War. It was uncovered by a Nazi expedition, amongst various other artifacts belonging to the chivalric Teutonic order known as the Death Knights. And he's like touching the stone. It's an artifact of rare power.
I remember the Battle of Nizova. That was the first appearance to the Western world of the battle girl Potemkin. I enjoyed many a meal from her devotion to her cause. Shame that she died.
He's like, yes, I never got the pleasure of feeding on her myself. As he's saying this, you can see the big vampire fangs poking out of his teeth there.
Unfortunately, I don't think you'll find much of a meal amongst any of us between the wisps of smoke, the dragon, and the foe that's not from this plane. Or planet. I'm not of this plane.
He says, well, that does bring up the question. I'm creating something new, away from the hegemony of horrors and the old, dusty monsters of the old world. It is time for a new type of terror, a new breed of horror, and the people now, they welcome it. They embrace the darkness. So, I shall ask you and your friends, will you join me in my Gothpire vampire empire?
Pyre.
Yes, it rhymes.
If you're asking us if we want to become vampires, I think you'll find that none of us can.
He says, oh.
I don't believe.
He's
I
like,
don't even think I have blood anymore.
that's a pity. Well, I'm afraid we'll have to find out. As he's saying this, the eyes on the Draconium shine a brilliant ruby. Red energy flashes out
Alright.
from the statue and is hitting all of you
Oh.
and starts trying to suck away your lifeblood and bring it into the statue and into the building.
Can I try and basically take the brunt of it, since probably the nature of the draconic statue is probably something akin to the magic of that I've been transformed by.
Yes, let's have you roll defend.
It's a 7.
Okay. So here's the good news. You guys are like brought to your knees by this energy, and your lives are drained for like a second. It stops after that because something weird happens when he defends. You are taking a powerful blow. This is like but it's almost an emotional blow because you see something else very bad going on. No. All right. Well, why don't we? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what you see.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you don't take the top.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what it is, and you'll tell me why it doesn't bother you.
Okay.
What you realize is like you thought you were the only dragon. I mean, maybe the only dragon man, or the only dragon, at least that wasn't like robotic and ridden by a very cool French woman.
Well,
But
there was also the other robotic dragon.
oh yeah, there are a whole bunch of robot dragons. But as far as you knew, those are the only dragons around. But that is not the case. As the Draconics statue is like flashing and melding with your being, you get visions of dragons all over the world.
Wild dragons.
Yes, wild dragons, but these wild dragons are sleeping dragons. Pretty much some of them are like under cities, London, Mexico City, Beijing. Others are just out there in like the wilderness in some, abandoned Shinto shrine somewhere in the Japanese countryside, or like somewhere in some English forest. But beneath the ground, hiding there under the earth, are sleeping dragons of all kinds. And these dragons are starting to wake up. You can sense they've been slumbering for a long, long time, since the fantasy medieval era when dragon legends were all over. But something put them all to sleep, and now something is changing to help them start to wake up.
So, I think the reason why he doesn't take the powerful blow is because in his mind, he's dreamed of not only seeing an actual dragon, but the fact that they actually exist has been sort of a fantasy of his for his entire life. And so just being able to see that and to have that knowledge just excites him to no end.
Ooh, cool. So it's good to know you are not alone.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So Gothpire takes a step back. He's like, "No, this shouldn't be happening."
Can I do something?
Yeah.
So I drift over to him as if just moving on shadow, and say to him,
By the powers of the darkness, get onto your knees, boy. You've quite displeased us.
Are you rolling that symbol of authority?
"Yep."
Okay.
That's an 11.
Whoa.
Actually, a 12 because I already had +1 against it.
Dang.
Yeah, you got +1. Yeah,
That's true.
All right. He starts strangle out a call for help, but then falls to his knees.
My boots are dirty, boy. Nick them.
Whoa.
I'll roll again, I guess.
This is like what? No, he'll do it. This is like what degradation was into, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And degradation's
hey.
a
Oh yeah, he's into it. Hey, there's a thin line between pleasure and pain. So yeah,
Nice and shiny.
so Gothpire's down there going like, blah, 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 blah.
You're such a good servant of the night. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I guess people are into what they're into. I ain't judging. Yeah.
He's a very non-judgmental cloud of smoke.
It's like, well,
There's a good boy. Oh, yes, nice and clean. Now
See, I
go
think-
to sleep. Sleep time.
I think
Night, night.
before he falls asleep, I'm just going to say, you realize before you start meddling with dragons, don't pit them against each other.
Ooh. Okay, so he kind of just rolls over and, with eyes all glazed, goes into something sort of like a slumber. However, down below, it is now midnight, in Velvet Midnight, and the door is smashed open. You can see down below some other. They look like they would be customers because they are, dressed in black, and they are pale, But those vampire fangs aren't fake. Some other vampires are coming inside. A woman in red with a veil is leading them.
Oh, her.
It is, the Crimson Empress.
Oh boy.
And they are coming to take out the Gothpire is trying to do his own thing. Hegemony of Horrors is not having it. So she's coming in. You can see some of the customers are into it until the vampires start turning into giant bat monsters. However, on the other side of the dance floor, the Magpie King is showing up once more.
Oh boy.
So, what are you guys going to do before a battle erupts in Velvet Midnight?
Can I try and say something to the Crimson Empress?
You can shout down to her. She's like kind of on the other side of the club, but there's like windows in this upper room.
Yeah, because I don't know if like Spider had a file on her. She's worked with us before, I think.
Yeah, they did. They teamed up a few times, but they kind of like the hegemony is just about creepy stuff. Spider is more about supervillain stuff. But yeah, they work together
Anti-hero stuff
for
sometimes.
sure. Oh yeah, or anti-hero.
So I'm just gonna yell down to the Empress. If you're looking for Gothpire, we already have him tied up. So if you're willing to talk, we're here. Please don't fight us.
Okay. Why don't you roll provoke? See if she's going to listen to this.
Well, don't have a positive or a negative, so let's see how it goes.
I'm guessing it did not work out.
I got 3.
Oof. All right. She's like, we'll talk later. She points, and 4 of her giant bat people rear up and start flying straight for this area across the club.
Oh boy. Well, I tried, guys. Any other plan?
Wait, are they flying at us or at Magpie King?
Right now, they're going towards you. The Magpie King is like her kind of vampire foot soldiers are moving after the Magpie King,
Gotcha.
and he's charging out to meet them with his talons.
Oh boy.
And there are some unfortunate goth club patrons in between.
Okay, so we gotta get the Goths out.
Yep.
Why?
Huh? Because they're about to die.
So?
Don't you care about people dying?
I would rather like it.
What?
Well,
Devotion.
honestly, I thought your brother would be like that.
You said the guests are looking like they're into it.
Well, they were at first until
Oh.
actual vampire
Until they
monsters
actually
appeared.
Yeah.
Hey, the views of Devotion are not reflective of the views of Generation Hero or Time Tabletop. I believe that goth lives are important and we should save the goths.
Hashtag Goth Lives Matter.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanted to go there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a serious. That's like
I'm
an
sorry,
actual
I'm
serious
sorry.
thing.
I'm sorry.
But we do care about people here on Generation Heroes.
Yes.
So Flux, I think you want to try something.
Save the Goths.
Save the goths. Hashtag save the goths.
No, they're already freaked out. I would like to change the mind of the you said the large giant bat that wants to freak out the people, the bat creatures.
The bat creature kind of going towards you.
So I'd like to make them go after the Magpie King's.
You want
bird.
to turn those on the Magpie King?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. If he has like a bird flock going, or just himself, either one.
Right now it's just him, but he's got like he's probably going to summon the birds in a moment.
Oh, before he can do that, yeah, I'd like to have them gang up on him if possible.
Ooh, all right. This is a mind control.
Yes.
Okay, let's go for. I think this would be Unleash Your Powers. To swivel some minds around.
That's a 14.
Nice.
Whoa. Okay. You just hack into their brains.
Not us.
These vampires swing down and they land on the Magpie King, who launches into them. And there is a fur, talon, fang, claw battle roaring to life in the center of the club.
Big place, big place.
I like it.
Devotion.
What?
Feed later. Get the civilians out of here.
I'll defend the Goths by just shadow portaling them out of the club.
Okay, they're probably really into that.
Oh, probably.
Shadow portal. All right.
That is not great.
Uh-oh.
But it is. That's a 7.
We got team points now, right?
Yes, you do.
Nice.
3 team points available.
If you guys want the Goths saved without any repercussions, we could do the 3 team points, but what is it? Like, I can mark a condition too, right?
Yes, you could do that.
So
Or it could be temporary, which would be like you'll get like half of them, but the other half will still be in danger.
I would just like to mark a condition that she's angry
Okay.
because she wanted to see these people die. Now they're not dying.
Oof. Yes. So the shadow portal zooms around, catches them all, takes them somewhere safe.
I want you to understand that I'm not supposed to get involved in the lives of mortals to this extent.
Then why did you join the team?
Because I know you'll be where all the battles are.
Oh. Well, that works.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. But, oh, I get it. Because of the smoke.
Oh,
I'm here with this.
Mr. Mystical gets a lot of like fog jokes and
Alright.
His brain is up in smoke a lot of the time.
yeah. Oh. All right. So the battle's raging down below at the stairwell leading up to Gothpire's private quarters. You hear some hisses and growls, and you see the Crimson Empress has just taken out his 2 vampire guards. She pretty easily just tears their hearts out, smashes them, turns them to dust right there. And she's heading up to get Gothpire.
I will get in her way because I'm pissed off right now.
Okay, are you going for an attack, or are you trying to defend Gothpire?
I am trying to defend Gothfire.
Alright, let's have you roll defend.
Basically, I'm going to just sort of reach out my finger and just touch her brain.
Okay.
And make her very confused as to why she's even here. That's my defense.
Alright.
Let's see. That is using Savior an 8.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if that clears my condition of being angry or not, though. Because I didn't really.
Yeah, I would say if maybe it was higher and you really took out your anger on her,
Yeah.
it would. But you're not really hurting her, you're just
Yeah.
kind of distracting her a little
Just
bit.
kind of distracting her.
So you could either take another condition, or it's gonna be temporary, which is like she'll
She'll
pause.
just be temporarily.
Yeah, she'll pause at the doorway, but then she'll find another way in.
Yeah.
You go over that one?
Yeah, basically she won't keep coming in this way because she kind of knows who I am and thinks it's a bad idea.
Alright, so she sees you, she just like hisses at you, and she's like, oh, one of the 7 is here.
Yes. Not Desmond. Hate to disappoint you.
Well, I did like Desmond, but what are you doing here? I thought you and your kind belonged in the pages of history and myth. Seeing one of you walking around, it speaks ill of the times.
Something very strange and bad is about to happen. We believe that the birth of delineation is about to occur. Maybe not now, but very soon. And if delineation is born, then that means that this world is over.
That is troublesome. We'll have to talk about this. For now, would you mind handing over that little baby bat flopping around on the floor below you? He and I should have words.
I'm sure. You wouldn't happen to know why he has an obsession with this draconic statue?
She's looking at that and she's like, oh, that's somewhat near my homeland, isn't it? The Draconics. I would love to have that in my possession as well. What the hegemony could do with such a thing.
I would rather you not.
She smiles and shows her fangs, and she's like, I'm afraid I must insist. And she is going to go for a attack on you. So either you can take a powerful blow or someone can defend you. All right, let's have Flux do it.
Alright, I would like to take his hide and make it as dense as he's ever felt it get tough before.
Ooh, a dense hide.
Like his scales get like diamond tough. Yeah.
Whoa. All right, let's have you roll plus Savior. Nice.
That's 11 straight. Yeah.
Nice.
I get nothing on Savior.
Dang. All right, so she rushes over to try and sinks her fangs to your neck to make a dragon vampire, which would be kind of cool. But
Yeah,
it does
it actually
not
would be.
work, and she recoils in pain as her teeth are not able to puncture your jugular.
I had a feeling that would happen.
So let's say you have an opportunity now. You could do something.
It's too bad this isn't sunlight. I would like to use my fire breath.
I didn't take you.
Nice. Okay, why don't you directly engage on the Crimson Empress?
That's an 8.
Okay, so you can pick one as you are blasting her with flame.
I would like to frighten her.
Whoa. Okay. So as the firelight consumes her and she stumbles back, you can see actual fear in this ancient vampire queen's eyes.
Don't get between a dragon and its kin.
Ooh. Mystical, how about you?
I'm gonna try diplomacy again, because I really do not want to piss her off. Because then I would piss the boss off, and the boss gets pissed off, I'm in trouble.
That's a fair point.
So I'm gonna try and get her to retreat. Hey, look, you're not winning today. So how about you just go home, forget this ever happened, and we can both go on our way.
Okay, why don't you roll provoke? See how she does. She might do with a condition.
8.
Okay. Alright, so she says you can either choose to give +1 influence to the Crimson Empress, but she won't leave, or you're gonna get a critical opportunity. She will give you a critical opportunity, which is this: if you give me Gothpire and that stone, I will go.
That's 2 things.
May I ask, as a matter of questioning, you, Drake, you want that stone, and you, Crimson Empress, you also want that stone.
It would be an excellent jewel in the crown of the hegemony of horrors.
You both desire it very, very badly.
I am going to, well, first I'm going to see if it works, because if it doesn't work, she's not going to say anything.
Okay. I don't think it. How do you do?
It did not work.
All right.
I think you should fight over it.
But I just tried to stop the fight.
Devotion starts the fight.
We're pretty sure that, like, a shadow portal almost opened up under the stone and then it went nope.
Ooh.
She wanted to do something cool and failed.
Oof. All right. Maybe next time. Okay. So she is getting her like claws ready.
Oh, okay.
So what were the options again?
I'll go if you give me the stone and Gothpire.
And the other option?
She'll stay, and you can take +1 towards her.
I'll take +1 towards her.
Okay, so she's staying put. She's like, your conditions are unacceptable. And she's gonna like wave her hand and a blast of shadowy vampire energy, because she's not just a vampire. She's also a sorceress. I'm gonna say, Flux, it's gonna hit you. You're taking a powerful blow.
Shite.
I would like to defend.
Okay, she's gonna try and like knock you out the window, so you go back into the club there. Let's see how Drake does. How'd you do?
12.
Whoa. Okay, so how do you stop this shadow energy?
I think once again. Well, no, actually, I think I'm just going to wrap the wings around him and just sort of, in a very Batman-esque way.
Yeah, I see, like with the cape.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say both of you are totally unharmed. However, the force from this blast does push you out the window. It's not too big of a drop, though, so you plop down and you are now in the main dance floor of Velvet Midnight. Yes, you too.
The
Okay.
birds and the vampires.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you are now kind of in the midst of the Magpie King has summoned his Raven army, and they are.
So,
Oh man, you could try,
Dance
maybe.
off, bro.
You can do it.
But dance-offs are for the 80s. In the 90s, we fight in our clubs.
And do
had to
grunge.
try.
Yes.
It's grunge, yeah.
Well, there is a nasty vampire bird battle raging in the center of this club right
Oh,
now.
yeah,
I go down to the DJ booth and put on Front 242.
She knows her records.
Whoa. All right. Well, we got some appropriate tunes.
Oh wait, I'm stuck up there.
So that
with the
means
end.
you're alone with the Empress. All right. So she's like trying to back you into a corner. So Mystical, Mr. Mystical, what do you do?
Alright, I tried talking to you. You refuse both times. Now it's time for violence. And I use the gun.
Yeah, it is.
So
Ooh.
what happens with the gun? God, I know what happens.
Okay.
Remember to press the.
I'm going full auto.
Well, good news, bad news. It's a good news, bad news
No safety
situation.
on the gun because that's not extreme.
Oh yeah, you know, Extinction doesn't believe in
No,
safety.
he never would have it.
No.
Because he's not safe, as he would say.
I wonder, can I use it with no powers, not nearly enough training, still roll? But
Well,
then
I'll
the
say
thing-
what happens because remember he rolled like a 2
It
on
was
the
bad.
It was a
transform.
2.
So you
I
wanted to shoot.
miswired that, definitely.
Yeah, he wanted to fire bullets or grenades. It does both, and it fires a bullet into a grenade while it's still in the gun, and the gun blows up, and the entire upper level blows up. So you're taking a powerful blow. As all of you guys, there's that explosion. As all you guys, the big boom rips through Goth Pyre's quarters, and you all plop onto the dance floor in the explosion.
4!
Nice.
Whoa!
Nice.
So how do you avoid the damage from this flaming blast consuming everything in the room?
I turn completely into smoke.
Whoa! It's
So,
just
so much that the blast does not affect me, just passes through me.
oh, very cool. So
And I-
you handily float down. The Crimson Empress looking a little bit worse for wear, kind of charred up, but still going strong. She is like landed next to you, and she is holding the statue. Goth Pyre is like just collapsed on the floor. She's kind of like forgotten about him because he's kind of a loser. And she looks like she's going to try and take the statue and make a run for
I
it.
would like to grab for it.
Well, let's actually, because you guys, you're not able to do that just yet, because you have another pressing issue, which is a bunch of ravens and a bunch of vampires are battling it out on the dance floor as this great music plays. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna pull an unstoppable and smash my way through to get to the Empress.
Whoa! All right. So you roll for that one.
Alright, good. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice,
Whoa!
nice.
All right, you just tear your way through this club.
Nice.
Birds, vampires, cast aside as you race over the Empress. She's heading towards the back exit. We'll get to you in a second. Flux, what are you doing?
I try to reach into her mind and have her trip and fall and give her a moment for him to catch up.
Ooh, okay. Let's have you do Unleash Your Powers for that.
Ooh, that's 9. No, that's just straight 9.
Straight 9. Okay. Would you like to mark condition, or will she like? I'm gonna say she'll trip like at the door. She'll get the door open. If you take that option.
No, I'll take the condition.
All right, she gets right to the door before she can open it. She like kind of stumbles and falls, allowing him to catch ride to her. Devotion, what are you doing?
I say into the microphone.
Just like that.
What's the Crimson Empress's real first name?
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, be a dear for the forces of darkness and just leave that statue where it lies.
Ooh, are you trying to mind control her?
Yeah, I'm doing my symbol of authority.
Yeah, we have like so much we have mind clouding and mind controlling. It's crazy.
Let's see, that is an 8.
Okay.
Which means that she does what it say.
Nice.
All right. She drops that statue.
Good girl.
However, none of you have been worrying about all these birds.
The birds and the bats.
I
The
like
birds
the
and the
birds.
bats.
The birds are quite nice.
Well, they don't like you or other stuff in the club too much. Yeah, well, they're really, I'm gonna say because you're kind of off the side in the DJ booth, they're not going after you. Instead,
I'm still in the
yeah,
floor,
Flux, they're gonna go after you. So you can see the Magpie King charging towards you with his talons and a bunch of ravens flying in to attack.
Oh, he's still up? Okay.
Yes, I also see, like, you can kind of see in the background, all the Goths have been teleported to safety.
Okay,
But
cool.
hiding there in the back The Pigeon Prince is still there.
Okay, so they're all coming at me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I yell at the... Wait, he's just watching?
The Pigeon Prince?
Yeah.
There's really not much he can do. He's kind of like cowering, actually. Cowering under a table would be more accurate.
Ooh, can I comfort and support him to help me?
Yeah, that could do it. So what do you say to him? You can call out to him.
You are an exemplary hero, right, of this earth?
I mean,
Or was he
villain?
not? No, he's a villain? Oh, see, I don't know these things. I apologize. Never mind then. He is not able to probably be comfort and support.
Everyone's a very powerful being.
You can comfort and support anybody. Like, you can comfort and support villains.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do is call out to his once powerful self. You can still make a difference, old or young. This is your moment.
Ooh, okay. Why don't you roll comfort and support?
8.
Okay. Alright, so he's like, you're right. For too long this pigeon has let its wings lie still. And he like stands up and he hurries over to the dance floor himself and is like, stop, stop to the ravens and magpies, and they are starting to kind of flutter away. And a battle for the brains of the birds is going on between him and the Magpie King. And the Magpie King is like swinging around, staring at him. You can see the beginnings of recognition in his black eyes. But it might need something more to really make it come through.
Yeah, I didn't get that enough.
Alright, so let's have Emerald Drake.
Alright.
Meanwhile, you reach Crimson Empress. She has dropped the statue. And right now she's like trying to kick open the door to get out.
Trying to think. She's leaving it there. It looks like she's actually just leaving it there.
Yeah, she dropped it. She's kind of reaching back for it. But you can tell it's kind of right between you. So you could make a grab for it, make an attack on her.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to be the monster. I'm basically just going to
Whoa.
fly up, like like between the statue and her, and just be as intimidatingly draconic as possible. And
Sure. Yeah, monster versus monster.
Yeah. Well, that's still a freak. That's a 9.
Okay, so what is the result from that?
We still got the team points, so do you want to make that a 10?
Yes, actually, I would.
Alright. So we get 2.
So I choose 1. I think since there's no one really, no one other to frighten or hurt.
Well, I mean, further back in the club, like your allies could see you. They might see you in full-on dragon mode and have a different attitude of you in the future.
That is a possibility.
So that could be something. So you're going for that one?
Yeah.
Alright, so all of you guys see him dragoning out. Like, he's more, usually just a nice mild-mannered dragon man, but not anymore. He is more dragon than man, for sure.
So basically, okay. So after that happens, I will just look down at her and just say, "Leave now."
Ooh, okay, and she does. She's like, I did not know how powerful you were.
There's a lot you don't know about me.
She says, your name belies your power. You're not an emerald drake at all. You're an emerald dragon. And she sort of crab crawls back into the shadows, turns into a bat, and starts zooming away.
Okay.
Guess he really wanted that statue.
I just didn't want it in the hands of her.
Good point. So, meanwhile, back in Velvet Midnight, the magpie is pausing a little bit, thanks to Picky Prince's pronouncement, there's still a few like Nosferatu foot soldiers left, unaware their queen has fled without them. So what are you guys doing?
I am shadow portaling away.
Just leaving your friends and run away?
Not running away. I'm going back to get something while they're distracted.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. All right, let's roll. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. I think that's just a straight up unleash your powers. That went very well.
Whoa.
Thank you very much.
All right. So they don't even like if you want to be totally stealthy about it.
Yeah,
Like
she
they don't
just,
even notice.
she just kind of just like dipping down like that while she's DJing, and then
Whoop, devotion's gone.
hopefully
Okay.
she'll actually be back before they notice she's left.
Ooh,
Like,
well,
she's gone this turn.
all right. Well, we'll see what happens. Mystical.
So I think I'm just still recovering from the blast and everything.
Sure. Okay. Just kind of getting yourself together. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to, I guess, run up then and cold cock King in the head with a dense diamond fist if possible.
Whoa. Okay. Let's give directly engage on him.
Ooh, snake eyes.
All right.
I form a soft foam fist somehow, and
Yeah. He turns around on you.
diamond foam.
Ooh. He just swift talon blasts or talon grabs your chest, flings you over to the ground, slams you hard.
Not my day.
So he is like looming over you. He's about to start scratching you up bad unless someone or his father can intervene. Yeah.
I'm going to try and point out we're friends of his father. Do you really want to hurt us when he's looking?
Ooh. Okay. Give me a provoke on the Magpie King.
I keep trying to provoke, but I don't have any points in provoke. Yep, that didn't
Hey,
work.
advancement. Now.
That's it.
Oh.
Dang.
There you go, dude. Nice job.
Yeah. You can add a mark in provoke now if you want. All right. You can add one in plus superior.
It still wouldn't make it.
All right. Yeah. He is
Good
not
try.
listening.
Good job, Miss Mystic.
No one ever listens. I'm
Pigeon Prince is like trying to call out to him, but just can't quite get the words out. Just like you, perhaps. And Flux, you're taking a powerful blow as a talon rakes into your chest.
Come on, reverse dice.
We'll have Emerald Drake in a sec. See you come back, I'm sure.
That's nice. That's 11 because I get to add my conditioning.
Oh no! All right, so what's going on there?
That's really nice.
You can
Really,
take
really
two
nice.
from the lower
Really.
list. Lose control of yourself in a terrible way, or you're gonna just pass out.
I think I've taken enough today. I don't know if my non-Earth being can take any more. I'm probably gonna get knocked out on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just,
I've taken like too many.
it is just too much. You go like limp in the Magpie King's arms. So let's have. So Drake, you are now in like peering back from the way out, and you see all this chaos.
Shit.
Yeah. The Magpie King, he's able to, in this rush of bloodlust, he's taking control over the flock again, and they are now the big threat. Like the few Nosferatu left are like cowering, and he's gonna destroy you all in his rage.
Well, I'm gonna grab the statue, obviously.
Yeah, and you can tell there's some, because you had that connection with the statue earlier, you can tell there's some bond between the Magpie King and the statue. Like, some energy, mind-controlling power that the Goth Pyre is using it for was used on the Magpie King.
Can I... So, noticing that, can I try and connect with the statue and try and see if I can rend control away from him?
Okay, why don't you roll Unleash Your Powers for this one?
Okay. 11.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, with that, you're able to like connect with the statue, and you can kind of see into this guy's mind. And yeah, he is named Eric. Good catch on my obvious The Crow references that I'm throwing down in this. But, you know, I had to.
Yeah.
What you're doing in the '90s, you're doing comics.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that Eric was once this kind of innocent, normal guy until he was attacked. And the rage that he perhaps felt from never knowing his father, who just kind of knocked up his mom and then flew away, like leaving like a bird, welled up inside of him and led him to become this monster. So you now know that fact.
Okay.
So he's kind of once again stopped in his attack.
Yeah. So I think with that, I'm going to. I'm gonna try and do a comprehensive word.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying to do wish I could be, so I'm trying to figure out how I can phrase it that way.
Okay. Devotion, do you want to come back at any point? Because
Yeah.
I was waiting to do what I was doing outside really quickly, and then come back.
all right, let's have. Would you like to go before or after?
Probably before.
Yeah.
All right, let's have you do what you're planning, and then we'll see what
Okay.
what Emerald
So,
Drake says.
Outside, she goes over to the wreckage of the video camera,
Uh-huh.
picks it all up, including
Ooh.
the tape and everything, and
Uh-huh.
puts it underneath her robe,
Oh, okay.
and then she teleports back.
All right.
Hopefully. No, she doesn't.
She gets
She teleported somewhere else. I don't know where.
All right, I'm gonna say you do make it back in eventually, but there's a quick digression. What's the word? A quick stop before you get back
Yeah.
into the club. I'll tell you what it is in a second.
Okay.
Most envy about that. So I would like to. Not good with words.
Yeah. What do you say to this guy?
I would say, Eric, I know you're stronger than this. You have an opportunity here to connect with your father, and the fact that your abilities are so similar to your father that there is such a connection. It's amazing. With me, my abilities are not genetic, and for that I envy you. So that's
Okay, why don't you roll that comfort and support using Wish I Could Be.
12. Nice.
Whoa. Okay, that totally works. He stops his attack. He lets you fall. His talons kind of slide away, and all the ravens and magpies settle down. And Pigeon Prince approaches him, and he's like, "My son, the Magpie Monarch." And then Eric's like, "It's Magpie King, Dad." And he's like, "I know," and they embrace.
Aww.
Yeah, a very happy father and son reunion. So Devotion.
Yes.
Before you there's a small, as your shadow portal is about to bring you back in, takes you someplace else instead. You briefly pop in to a laboratory. In this laboratory is a bunch of white-suited scientists. Viewers will recognize one of them as Dr. Oren Oleander, or Coriander, as he was misnamed. The other one viewers will recognize is Dr. Moto, the evil Japanese scientist who was making those Tengu and other horrible things that were causing Battlemech Superforce so much trouble back in our Big in Japan episode. Both of them together are looking down at a set of eggs, kind of oversized football, wouldn't be out of place, coming out of an ostrich, eggs, set in a special nest in this laboratory. And Oleander is like, something has changed. They don't quite understand why, but now these things are starting to hatch. And as they can see it, the eggshell is starting to crack away, and some little dragon hatchlings are poking their way out. And Dr. Moto is like, are they not beautiful?
You two have done an amazing job for
What?
science.
Huh?
You should congratulate each other and forget that I was ever here.
They both fist bump each other as you teleport away, and now you pop out back in the club.
Okay. And they're like hugging it out on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
So Pigeon Prince kind of looks away from his son, keeping his arm on his son's shoulder, and he says, I don't know how much to thank you. Let me say I'm one grateful bird.
You two should just get to know each other better. You know, really bond as father and son. Learn to love each other more. And be there for each other.
I think that's a good idea. Come this way, my boy. You will soon see that birds of a feather flock together. And they head away. It is a very happy reunion with all their giant birds heading outside, a big flock all around them.
That was surprisingly heartwarming, Devotion.
You
I believe
realize
in all
that was
devotions.
her reason. She
My
did
what?
that on purpose.
Huh?
She wanted them to be devoted to each other.
The Devotion do finger guns and the.
She did.
All right, so all that's really left here is decide what to do with Gothpire, who is just starting to wake up after this chaos.
I'm sure.
Oh, and the dragons, then the draconic statue, of course.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to join the other artifacts in the
There's
SOS.
nothing we could do to.
Oh, it's in a museum.
I think. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to.
The last time we put something in the museum, it got stolen.
I just love Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Godfire, there was nothing that we could do to stop her. The Crimson Empress left with your statue.
Oh, she's all. Wait, is he like holding it?
I
hope-
think as.
Or are you like hastily hiding behind
Oh, yeah.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Camouflage.
Alright. He's like, oh, she always ruins my fun.
I know. She thinks that she's better than you.
Yeah, it's just because she's been around like a couple more centuries than me. It's not
That
fair.
That shouldn't matter, should it? You should make your plans for revenge against
Yeah,
her.
some of the best vampire there is, damn it.
Yes, go out and prove it.
Will do. Are you? Well, why don't you roll provoke to really make him, or the symbol of
Yeah, I'll do
authority?
the symbol of authority.
That would do it.
Oh, yeah. And I've got my +1 towards
You do.
it,
He-
so
he
that's
really-
an 11. Just
Okay,
over.
yeah, he'll do. So you want him to just go after the Empress to get revenge?
Yeah.
He's like, you're right. The night is mine. And he turns into a bat and zooms out the
Make
window
sure
as well.
it's juicy and well thought out.
Of course.
I feel like we should do something, but nah.
Generation Hero. I feel like we should do something, but nah.
That's versus the 60s when it was like, with great power comes great. But do we have to?
Well, the times have changed. Now everything's cynical and full of ennui. Yeah. So with that, you guys return to the Society of the Bazaar, bringing the Draconics with you. You show it to the Seraph, and the glowing green orb heads away from the pillar, zooms around it for a bit, and then says, it's very interesting. This was stolen by a bunch of thieves from the excavations in Nizova.
Yep.
But not apparently by Gothpire. Someone gave it to him. Not sure who. I'll notify the other heroes and we'll see what we can do.
It showed me something.
Oh? What did you see?
Well, something that I personally have wanted for pretty much my entire life, but is probably pretty dangerous.
What would that be?
Dragons are real, and they're waking up.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's very bad. I'll do some research and see what I know about this awakening of the dragons and see what it means, but it certainly doesn't bode well for the future of the Earth. Flux, something you want to say?
Well, sometimes with bad news, there's more bad news.
What would that be?
Apparently, we're at interstellar war.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yes. Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. Is it the Arcaline or
I
the
think it's Akalindu.
Akalindu Empire?
Oh, well, I've heard about them.
Is that the ready for war?
Ooh.
Is that why Vazandu was there?
That's what it seems like.
Yes.
I was wondering why he was a little more.
And extremely distressed.
I will, I'll tell Empyrean Prime and the other heroes, and we'll, see what we can do. This is good to know. Thank you.
So we have dragons and aliens coming to kill us.
So far. And then there's
The
another...
epic
and then-
clash of sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes. And someone stealing artifacts and giving them to dangerous vampires.
That is also true.
Well, it's a brave new world. It's a new decade. And all threats are a little bit more extreme. And that is where we will end this episode. So, let's go around real quick. Do the final moves. Did you grow closer to the team, grow more to yourself, or grow away from the team? So let's start with Emerald Drake. Do you feel more in line with the Society of the Bizarre and these new heroes who have joined you?
I think he's gonna grow into an image of himself. This new knowledge and just sort of it's something that is just sorry man words
Yeah, the new knowledge of the...
the new knowledge of the dragons and sort
Yeah.
of and even the words of the Empress sort of bolstered his identity as a dragon. So so yeah, I think I'm going to
Grow into yourself?
yeah. So that means that I'm going to shift some labels.
Yeah. We can get back to you about that one.
Yeah.
Dallas, how about Flux? Did he...
He is a little ashamed of his personal efforts.
Ooh.
He's sent here to find someone that's supposed to be like a savior or help. He has a small inclination. It's a mission for himself. You know what I mean? Like prove it, come back. So he is definitely not growing into image of himself. Although he was helped out several times by the team, and he likes the non-humanly things they do. So he grows closer.
I should say so.
Not a single person here is actually human.
Yeah, he's definitely an alien amongst aliens.
Or at least not human anymore.
How,
You.
how about Devotion?
Devotion definitely grew more into the image of herself. She sees herself as even more controlling of minds and less in the need to do anything physical to anybody ever. So
Whoa.
her savior has shifted up to +3. Her danger is -2.
Oh,
Because she's like,
interesting.
why should I ever sully my hands with violence?
Yeah. Why mix it up when you could just control
Just
minds?
keep zapping people's brains.
So yeah, I shifted freak up and mundane down.
Oh, nice.
My mundane is -2.
And how about Mr. Mist?
I think he's gonna grow closer to the team.
Oh, thank you.
Mostly because he's feeling way in over his head over this. So it's nice to have
Whoa.
some friends who can guard his back.
Wow. Well, you went from Spider to the Society of the Bizarre, so I guess it's a bit of a learning curve. But
Remember,
you're
as the
getting there.
Beacon, he's kind of like the kid of the team. So
Sorry about that gun. I must have crossed red over blue and didn't need to do that.
that's all right. It wasn't in any danger. It was just everyone else.
Yeah, it all worked out overall.
So he's gonna mark potential, and he also advanced this game. So I'm gonna take
Nice.
something from the Protege playbook. If
Sure.
I can remember what the move was.
Yeah, we can look that up next time. So I don't think I have the character sheet with me. But do you remember what it does?
It's like talk to your mentor,
Oh, okay. So who would his mentor be? You think would that be?
Weaver.
Ooh, the head of Spider. Oh man, very cool. Can't wait to see what he does in this new decade.
I'm gonna say you get the influence for
Oh, sweet.
twice savior.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, very cool. And I thank you guys all for joining me, and that brings this episode to a
Yes.
close. Tune in next week when we'll be seeing what those baby dragons are up to in an episode called Battle Beasts.
They're so cute, guys.
They are very
Baby
cute.
Dragons.
And we'll see if these
Battle
heroes, because they want to be the very best.
That no one ever was.
Yeah, like no one ever was. So we'll see if they can next time.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for everybody that's hopping in there. I know Eric and Samantha were in there for a little bit. Chopping it up and livening it up. Thank you so much for coming on in there and saying hi. And of course, we'll be back next week, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. We're on a roll. We're going to go all the way through this one.
Yes, no
Feels good.
pauses.
This is
No
one
pauses?
of my. I don't know.
All killer, no filler.
I thought I was really pumped about the 80s, and I was like, oh man, 90s. I'm like going in my repertoire of like Fresh Prince era and all the dark stuff that came out in the comics, and I'm just like, this is gonna be so good. So I'm really excited. All right, everybody, just pull up a chair, make time to tabletop. We'll see you next week.
We love
Peace
you.
out.
Bye.